How do I stop dying all the time? What the hell do all these map symbols mean? Which loadouts are actually good? Why is everyone so eager to talk to me anyway? I set out to explore these questions, and let me tell you folks, though the learning process in Hell Let Loose can be intimidating, I quickly found that by investing time and interest into learning the game, you can swiftly become a very competent player and even squad lead within your first 50 hours of game time. In this video, I'll be sharing a range of things you should avoid and tips, tricks, and basic techniques that you can deploy to overcome these errors and improve your game experience tenfold. If you make it to the end of the video, I've got an incredibly useful method that I attribute to being one of the main catalysts for swiftly learning the game's foundations. Now, with that being said, let's get into it. First up, let's answer one of the questions from the start of the video. How do I stop dying all the time? I'm willing to bet that a number of you watching this video are perhaps not on your first attempt to get into Hell Let Loose. Well, you're not on your own. It's taken me about 4 separate occasions to try and get into this game, and the primary reason I've always bounced off it is due to just not understanding why I'm constantly dying over and over and over and over again. The first major mistake that beginners make is constantly running back to the exact same spot they've just been killed. For anyone with even minimal FPS experience, this usually makes sense due to the nature of most FPS games. Get fragged, go back, reap sweet, sweet revenge, profit. This loop usually works. Well, if you want to succeed in Hell Let Loose, you'll need to unlearn a lot of these habits because Hell Let Loose is nothing like any other FPS game in that regard. If you get killed, do not just aimlessly wander back there. Instead, take the time to understand the flow of the game. First of all, just accept that you will die a lot in Hell Let Loose. That's just the way the game is by design. There are, of course, ways to minimize this, and hopefully, as this video progresses, you'll pick up some tips and tricks that start to allow you to survive longer, and the game then, folks, trust me, becomes way more enjoyable. The main part of understanding the flow of the game is understanding where and why enemies are positioned the way they are. If you open the map as a new player, logically you'd be forgiven to think that enemies are just going to spawn directly on the point that you are pushing or defending against. Well, I'm afraid, folks, this is completely wrong. This is a game that is underpinned by building spawn points for your team around points of interest and objectives in a manner that allows you to encircle and pressure enemies from multiple sides, either with brute force or by surprise. Map control via dropping spawn points is the name of the game here. So if you find yourself getting killed, look at where you've died and look at the map markers, more on those later, and consider where the enemy could be spawning from and react accordingly. Try to move to a different position that is far out on the flank of where you've just died. This is the first step of keeping yourself alive for longer and contributing more to the enemy's headache rather than your own. Treat your life in Hell Let Loose like it's your only life. Another mistake I often see new players continue to make is standing or moving around in the open. This is a one-way ticket to Domesville, as you make yourself an incredibly easy target for enemy snipers, machine gunners, and in fact, just anyone in general with a weapon. Always be using cover where possible. Move between cover points and stay low to avoid detection, and or make yourself as small a target as possible. Once you are in a piece of cover and you want to move, look for the safest next bit of cover. Be patient. Don't just run like a headless chicken out into the open. Take your time, be methodical, look around you. What are your squad mates doing? Are they hunkering down? Because chances are, if they're hunkering down, you probably need to follow suit. If you know you're about to push a dangerous position, use smokes to obscure the enemy's view and communicate what you're doing so your squad can assist you. More on that point later. If you find yourself in cover and you can see bullets pinging off areas in front of you, that is a massive red flag that you should not be peeking, or worse still, and you see this a lot too, folks, re-peeking that same position. This is a seriously big killer, not just in Hell Let Loose, might I add. Instead, reposition and try to decipher via sound spotting and the trajectory of the bullets that are coming in from an angle to make a decision on where you should be trying to return fire from and towards. The flow of the game is a complex topic, folks, that could have an entire video dedicated to it. With that in mind, if you could drop this video a like and a subscribe, this will help gauge the level of interest in Hell Let Loose content, and of course, it just really helps me out. Thank you. So what the hell do all these map symbols mean anyway? Another mistake that I constantly see people making is not making the effort to understand the basic UI icons and map markers. To further understand the flow of the game, game, it's incredibly important to quickly grasp what on earth the UI icons and map symbols mean to further enhance your game sense. Hopefully your squad leader will drop move and attack markers which can be seen by everyone in your squad, and hopefully your squad leader is also communicating clearly and will notify you when they drop a new marker and what the point of moving to said marker is. Okay squad, let's try to get a Gary down southwest of railway crossing. Squad leaders can also mark where infantry and vehicles are, amongst some other things that I won't go into in this video. Keep your eye on the map folks, I'm about to drop some infantry markers. And this will show up for everyone in the team. So, with that in mind, if you find yourself constantly getting domed, make sure you're taking into consideration where these markers are and how you can best position yourself to approach enemy positions. Why is everyone so eager to talk to me anyway? A question I know a lot of new players ask themselves. This next one is a bit of a cliche, but it is without a doubt one of the biggest mistakes new players can make when starting Hell Let Loose. Not communicating, or worse, not listening to squad leader instructions and playing the game like a solo Call of Duty player, racking up that sweet KD ratio. Objectives win games, not flashy kill counts. Make sure you remember that one, folks. Found the Gary. I recommend deploying what I call the 3 C's when playing Hell Let Loose. They are concentration, communication, and cooperation. Always concentrate on what your squad leader or commander, if you're the squad leader, and squad mates are saying. Communicate using voice chat to relay important information about enemy positions, objectives, garrisons, and outposts, and try to back this up with a ping and some sort of context around why you've pinged. Here, on this wall, strafing across.
Vlad, can you check this?
Is there a tank in the general direction of your ping, or is it absolutely perfectly placed? This is a really important difference of info, because then your squad lead can then make a marker that telegraphs this to the entire team and can allow the commander to call in a precision strike, for example, if your ping is directly on a target. Cooperate with your squad mates and squad lead or commander on objectives. If you're a squad leader, you're going to want to work as hard as possible to keep placing garrisons and taking out enemy garrisons to tip the scales in your favor. If you're a squad member, try to stick to your squad leader's commands and assist them as much as possible. You can do this by not only assisting them in their orders, but by perhaps providing them with essential information that will help them make more informed decisions as the game progresses. Just because you're a rifleman doesn't mean your cooperation and communication are not valuable. Hell Let Loose is a team-orientated game, and success depends on teamwork and cooperation, even more so perhaps than raw mechanical skill. But Phase, I'm shy and I don't know what to say. I totally get it, but mark my words, folks, this community is incredibly welcoming, especially when you let people know you're new. In my experience as a new player, veterans have been nothing but positive towards me, especially when I've actively been seeking to learn how to play the game. This is one of the key ways I've learned to play, and I've been blown away at just how awesome the community is. Once I got to grips with playing basic roles such as the rifleman, assault, and machine gunner, I jumped in at the deep end and played squad lead and quickly found a home there. Even in this pivotal role and in my early hours of playing the game, I was actually met with a lot of encouragement and positivity, which I thought was great. I would actually recommend that once you have learned the basics of the game, start exploring the squad lead role as quickly as possible, as this really forces you to quickly learn the more intricate aspects of the game. I've been educated loads about areas of the game by my squad members just because I've been open about wanting to learn the intricacies of the game.
You can look for a good hidden place for the garrison where it won't get destroyed quickly.
Okay.
I said maybe you can take the truck and get new supplies. You know where?
How do I do that? Yeah, go on.
If you look at the
inside the circle
and go back towards the beach, you see those 2 white squares, one with the ammo depot and one with the repair station.
The north. In the north?
Oh yeah, it's just where we came from.
Okay, yeah, we'll get back there. This leads on nicely to another area I've seen mistakes being made, and that is poor role selection and understanding. A player choosing a role and then not working with its kit is to absolute detriment of not only the squad you are in, but also the team as a whole. Take time to learn each role and consider its responsibilities before taking the plunge. It may seem obvious, but I've seen this time and time again. A machine gunner goes off on their own thinking they're army, trying to rack up insane kill counts when actually what they should be doing is supporting the squad by laying down unrivaled suppressive fire whilst we work towards a common objective at hand. Support needs to work with the squad leader, dropping supplies so they can build garrisons. Riflemen can drop ammo. Medics can obviously revive and heal players, whilst engineers can build and repair structures, namely defenses and, a really important one here, nodes for the commander. These nodes allow the commander to generate resources to call in air support and such like to aid the entire team. It's not a pretty job, folks, but someone has to do it. A nice little caveat to the engineer is also that it has the added bonus of racking up insane experience for you. So, if you want to power level, build some nodes and such like at the start of a round for the commander, and then switch off it to another class, you'll reap the benefits and your commander will think you're a legend. Don't turn your nose up at doing logistics runs with supply trucks either, people. A solid logistics setup can make or break a team in the arc of a full match. Remember that incredibly useful method I mentioned at the start of the video? You know, the one I attribute to being the primary catalyst for gaining a solid foundation in the game? Well, here it is, and I'm not going to lie, folks, it's pretty straightforward. Join a community as soon as possible and look for a mentor. There are so many great characters in the Hell Let Loose community who are eager to recruit new people into the game they love, and these people genuinely enjoy teaching people how to play the game. But how do you do that? Well, if you have a great game with a cool squad of people or an excellent commander, tell them they're awesome and drop them a friend request and play again. I've done this many times over the past few weeks and met some fantastic people along the way. A community and a server that I can fully recommend is Ivy Division. I actually hold them responsible for my current Hell Let Loose addiction. I fell across their server by chance and had an absolutely incredible set of rounds one rainy afternoon a few weeks ago, and I met so many nice people there who were willing to teach me the game from the ground up. Subsequently, I've managed to convince my friends to come and give the game another try, and now we're all playing as a full squad with the folks over at Ivy Division. A special shout out goes to Weggy and Delta for the support they've given me and the PhaseShift community in developing our skills in this game. If you're looking for a place to learn how to play Hell Let Loose, I've put a link to their Discord in the description of the video. If you have any tips, tricks and suggestions for me and other new players in Hell Let Loose, sound off in the comments below. Take care of yourselves, keep having fun, and I'll see you in the next one.